Bienvenidos and welcome to another episode of Patroma Therapy. For English, press 1. For Spanish, empuente número 2. And for German, what should we press?
Hallo und herzlich willkommen zu einem weiteren Video von uns. Wir möchten Sie fragen, ob können wir wirklich frei entscheiden. Bitte drücken Sie die Ein-Taste und wählen Sie die gewünschte Menü und Audiosprache aus. Well, I guess
Sagen?
we're back to English.
Oh, okay. Well, very good. Well, here we are again for another episode of Patroma Therapy, and our topic today is free will. We'd like to welcome some of our new subscribers. It's somebody from Spain and someone else from Germany. And we have some of our, core members. Hello, Tony. So whenever I think about free will, I think about hell and damnation. Because, if we make the wrong choices, it could be really consequential. I'm kind of intense when I hear the word free will. I go right to heaven and hell because that's like the reward and punishment for the choices you make.
I wish I could say the same, but no, I am much more relaxed when I think of the free will. Besides, when I think of the HELL and such, I always smile because I remember this quote by Mark Twain. I don't like to commit myself about heaven and hell. You see, I have friends in both places.
Well, Sartre, the French philosopher, said that hell is other people. He wrote this play called Huis Clos, which means no exit. Huis Clos, no exit. And it's about a man who's in love with a woman, but she's a lesbian in love with another woman. And that woman is in love with the man. So it's this impossible triangle of attraction, and there's no exit. And what Sartre says, is that Sartre or is that Gide or is that Camus? I think it's Sartre, no exit. Well, I know that Tony knows. But, hell can be other people. Other people can be so annoying. Have you ever found any annoying people in Moscow?
You mean these people who aren't necessarily on the same wavelength as me? Legion is their name, for they are many.
Oh my God.
Have you ever heard this saying that if everyone around you is annoying, that maybe it's you who is annoying? And by you, I mean me. And even this saying is annoying, isn't it? Anyway, some of these annoying people are still my friends, and we smoke and we drink and we fraternize with other annoying people. And I think why? Why do we do that? Why do I do that? This self-destructive behavior, do I do this on my own free will?
Why do we do wrong things? Why do we sin? Why do we give in to temptation?
Exactly. That's correct. And I think, what if I am trapped by this society, like the way Anna Karenina had been in Tolstoy's novel? Or, like that man in Dostoevsky's short story, Notes from Underground, what if I'm trying to, by this irrational and self-destructive behavior, I'm trying to set myself free from social pressure? What if I am the underground man who's acting on behalf of free will?
Well, some people are new subscribers, so we're kind of looping back and threading in some of our earlier episodes on when we're born, do we have anything on our slate? Are we tabula rasa? Where do good and evil come from? In the story of Anna Karenina, were they fated to meet each other? Did they choose some kind of self-destructive psycho love? So if anyone's new and want to go back and look at some of the other episodes, we even made an episode about eating ice cream. And I think you chose some strawberry berry and I chose vanilla and poured bourbon on it. Was I free to choose that? Why did you choose strawberry?
I think I have instinctively went after something that has a heart shape and a red color because it symbolized the spring and rebirth and flower and fruit and love and passion. I wasn't thinking rationally.
Didn't you say someplace about your grandmother had some peonies or some strawberries, or you remember strawberries from childhood? How are strawberries tied into something happy for you? We're delving into the unconscious here.
Oh, that, yeah. Well, when I was a kid, I liked strawberry more than broccoli. Yeah, my Soviet childhood is full of strawberry memories. I'm an old commie.
Okay. Well, I mean, I had some strawberries in my childhood. We lived in, I think, in Virginia, and my father was working at the Pentagon as I think he was a spy. He was in military intelligence, and he actually spoke Russian. But my mother grew these strawberries, and in the summertime, she would make a like a shortcake or a biscuit, and then put the strawberries on it, and then she would make whipped cream. Wow, that's what I want to have later. I also like. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Now, when you mentioned that, I have to say it, and it's going to be very personal. If I am ever to face the firing squad and they ask me for the last wish, I will ask for the strawberry whipped cream. And if they don't have it, I'll ask for the strawberry ice cream. I don't remember if I mentioned that in our discussion of ice cream thing, but
Well, I don't know. I mean, when I think of the episode about the ice cream, I like the memory of learning about this coffee affogato, which they serve in Vienna. And you could sit outside in the cafes and have like a little tiny glass that's so beautiful. It has a scoop of vanilla ice cream, and then some like bourbon on it. I mean, and a little glass of ice water. I mean, that's the height of civilization. Yeah, I'm like all about civilization. But you know what Freud says is that civilization is only the uh, transfer or alteration of subliminal urges. So like we can't always act driven on our id. So we do things like paint and draw and create art.
since you mentioned Freud, I'd like to mention C.J. Jung and his synchronicity theory, which is about coincidence, but coincidence that is acausal. Do you think that speaks in favor or against free will?
It is synchronistic with free will. I'm going to explain this to you. Do you like that? No.
I think I know what you mean, by the way. Imagine these three worlds: one where free will is true, and one where it isn't, and there is one in between where it's both true and not true. It's called compatibilism, I guess.
Compatibilism.
Yes, pardon my French.
Compatible. It is compatible with free will because synchronicity is when two events happen at the same time. Like sometimes you'll see the numbers 1111, or sometimes you'll see 444, or you'll be thinking about something that all of a sudden that person will call you, or you'll be looking around on your bookshelf and then suddenly you'll pick up a book you weren't thinking about. So these moments of synchronicity are just letting you know that you're on the right track. I mean, like some people think that deja vu is a view into the past. Some people think it's a precursor of the future. But I just know that there's some moments in my life that kind of click like, wow, that seems right. I mean, it was just so strange how we got this idea to do these little talk shows. I mean, that was like very synchronistic.
So, from what you've just said, I conclude that free will and fate are both true and logically consistent, aren't they?
Well, they are consistent. I'm not sure if they're logically consistent. I mean, if you see, like in the episode about Mark Twain and Tom Sawyer, we see the cover shot, they're painting a fence. But if you think of a fence, if it's these wooden slats, suppose you stood at a distance and you looked at a cat walking back on the other side of the fence. You see the head, then the neck, then the stomach, then the tail. They seem to be moving in a line from the left to the right, but the head is not causing the neck, the stomach, and the tail. The perception of the cat walking behind the slats of the fence is perceived all at once. So just because things happen in a line doesn't mean they're causal.
Well, that deep. I don't know. I have to sleep on that. What I do know is that cats are full of free will. They're full of free will. That I know.
How did that make you feel?
That makes me feel jealous.
Yeah, cats just kind of like wander around, do their own thing. Like they're looking for food, they're looking for warmth, they're looking for sometimes affection. But, it's their lives are really not that complicated.
Of course not, because animals are not capable of self-reflection. That's why they're so much happier than we are. Unlike animals, we complicate our lives to the extent that, like, yesterday I read that book where Spinoza said that if a stone projected through the air had consciousness, it would imagine it was flying of its own will. And I thought, what if I am the stone?
What stone? Wait a minute. There's no stones being projected in a well. Like, what's the context of it? So, just for the purpose of me and the viewers, when I think of a stone in the air, I'm thinking of the discus thrower, the marble statue of the guy getting ready to throw the disc, or somebody getting ready to do a shot put. Or I'm thinking of something visual. So, what is this stone that's in the air? What's the visual context of that?
Well, for argument's sake, let's say that the stone is me, and I'm flying through the air, and I think, wow, I have a free will.
Well, who threw the stone?
Well, God, of course. Of course, God.
Okay, there you go. You got the unmoved mover. So God.
But that's not the point. What I'm trying to say is, do I have free will, being the stone?
No, because no, wait a minute. A stone doesn't have the opposable thumb. The stone doesn't have arms and legs. It's just matter. But we were created with an opposable thumb. We can stand upright. We can crawl up trees. We can walk. We can use pencils. We can use paintbrushes. We cannot be a stone hurling through the universe. But okay, pretend we are. I mean, I'm not. You are. How does that feel? You're a stone hurling through the universe.
Exactly. Imagine the Earth, like we are the stone. Where do we go? I don't know. Do we have a free will? I don't know. We're like on this spaceship.
I mean, I know. You don't know. That's why you're in therapy. It's Patroma therapy. See, like you have your perception of being, and our people and friends in Germany and in Spain and in Dallas and in Minneapolis, each person has their way of perceiving what it is like to be. Das Ein. Do you know what Das Ein means in German?
Well, yeah, I do know, but when you ask me, I cannot explain.
Yeah, it's like Heidegger and Husserl and the philosophers who talk about the nature of being. So when you say we are like a stone propelling through the universe, that is what it sometimes feels like to you.
I think we should stop right here.
I cannot stop because we're a stone hurling through the universe, and we invite our viewers to come back for our next episode.